Alright, here we have our Puret Easy Slim hour system, and we're going to need to install this here on the wall under the sink, away from our hot water tubing or cold water, and we're going to need to mount it on the wall here, as so, very balanced. So we have our faucet here, and the tubing is going to come from here, and the color is going to be blue for that. We have our tank reservoir tubing here, and we're going to connect the yellow tubing for that. Down here we have our cold water supply, and this tubing is going to be white. And then in the back here we have our drain, and that's going to be black tubing as well. Here we would have your kitchen drain system, and we're going to be drilling a hole here, a 1/4 inch hole, 6 inches above the P-trap. It's recommended, and we're going to connect that to our RO system drain. So here we're going to be grabbing our 1/4 inch drill bit, and we're going to make a hole into our drain here. Close that. We're going backwards. Make sure it's straight. Right. And then we would just go in here 6 inches above the P-trap and drill a hole in there, and then we're done. So now we have our hole. We're gonna grab our drain saddles. They're both half-moon pieces, and we're gonna be connecting our tubing here into the drain saddle. Tubing's gonna come out just a bit there, and we connect this into the hole, as so. Grab the other piece in the back. We'll grab both screws here and go in, hold each other up, and then put in our screws, or nuts, sorry, our nuts. Right there. There's the other one on the other side. Okay. And we can start using our impact drill. How's that going? Alright, go in there. And here on the other side, just a bit, so it can even out. And now we have connected our drain tubing. From the drain saddle, we go to the drain flow restrictor back here, into there, pull that in there. Now that's secure. That's so. Alright, so we're going to be needing to install our water supply adapter. To do so, we need to turn our cold water supply off, and then unscrew our knot here. Then yours might look different here. There's different tubing. If you have bigger tubing, you can unscrew this knot and put it here on top and connect it as so. And then you start off with the bottom here. We're going to be using hands-on, no tools. We don't want to damage anything here. So screw it on. Take our time. All the way. Hold that in place up top. Alright, until we feel that we're tight enough. And then we screw off the top. Alright. Just like so. Alright, so we need to make this a 90-degree cut here with this pipe cutter. You can find it at any hardware store. We need to cut this because it can, if we do not cut it, it can damage the fitting here. So just like so, and then we insert it into here, make sure it's in there, and then we connect it into the water supply tubing here, and that should be white. So we're doing the tank tubing next. We're going to be taking the dust plugs out of this. And this is going to be the tank tubing here for the system. We're going to be needing to make some cuts, 90-degree cuts, flat, so we don't damage anything here. After that, we connect it to the tank. Make sure it's deep in there. And then after that, we go on to the tank tubing here. It should look like so. Alright, so next we're going to need to do the last bit of tightening here, and you will need an adjustable wrench to do so, to get this tight nut down here. Some of them are going to be hard to reach. We do have on our website, it's not available with the system, our tightening wrench, and this here will get into hard to reach areas and it'll help you tighten any hard to reach spots that you need. As so. Now won't go anywhere. So this is our faucet tubing. Let's make sure to cut 90 degrees both sides, and then we're going to connect our compression nut here first, and then after that our ferrule is going to go just in there. We got to be gentle with it, and it'll just go in there just like that. And then after that we would put in our ferrule, sorry, our tube insert, and just like so, just a little bit of pressure, and then just like that. I need to do that again. So we have all this together. Now we go under the faucet and we connect it just under here, and we screw on the compression nut and keep going until it's in there, and it should be tightening just like that, and it should be solid. So we're gonna need to do some tightening. This is our tightening wrench that we have on our website. We just go into the end of the tubing here, and then we go all the way here to the nut and go in there and tighten it as we wish, and then we pull it back out. You can also use an adjustable wrench. Will take a little bit harder or a longer time, but that's how we do it. So this faucet tubing will connect here to our RO system, just like so. Press that on the side, make sure it's in, just like that. So we're gonna need to turn on all our valves, starting with the water supply. Turn this up, and then we have our water adapter, turn that on, and then we have the tank valve, that's on, and then we have this valve here as well, and that will be on. So we will be just twisting these on here. There is a slot just under these here. You'll find it easy, and then you insert it and twist on just like so. And then we go in order here. Find the slot and twist. And the last one here, find the slot. Hold on if you need to and twist. All three should be in there. Next step, we need to insert our reverse osmosis membrane, and to do that we would need to take out this locking clip here with the screwdriver, and we would just pull that up just a little bit, enough for it to pull out, and then after that we would pull out the tubing here as so, and then we untwist this here, just like that. Keep everything together. After you take out your membrane from the packaging, you'll put the side with the dual O-rings first inside, so, and then the skirt seal should be towards near the membrane cap, just like that. Make sure our ring's inside here, and we twist it on to our membrane cap, and then we connect our white tubing here deep in there, make sure it's nice and in, and then we put our fitting here, clip in place. All our valves should be on, and after that we turn on our faucet and we let it run for 1 hour, and the water will be black, but that is carbon and that is normal. After that hour we shut it off so the tank can fill up. After the tank fills up, we empty it out, turn on the faucet again and let it flow out for another hour, and then after you shut it off, let the tank fill up again, and that water should be good to drink.